Hey Internet, Eric here, and welcome to Shocktober 13 Days of Halloween. This is a concept I started a couple years ago. I didn't do it last year, but what it was is where, because everyone's doing 31 on 31, 31 horror movies, 31 videos, in 31 days all through October. I don't have the time or patience for that, but I wanted to participate in something this year. So I decided to bring back my Shocktober idea, which is 13 videos in 13 days discussing 13 horror movies, whether it's horror comedies, straight up horror, what have you, from the 19th to the 21st. 21st, that's my birthday. The 31st, Halloween. So welcome to day one, and I made a short. I don't know when discussing which films will be discussed, and there was a poll I did a while ago, and it was between four franchises. And what happened is I had the poll on both Twitter, X, and YouTube, and we couldn't decide between the final two. One day I went into my daughter's room, put her on the spot, and I said, "Hey, am I going to discuss Puppet Master, which has to do with killer toys, or am I going to discuss The Howling, which is about werewolves?" She had no idea, so she just spit out the word werewolves. I've already discussed the first one in the original Shocktober, but we're going to start out, I wouldn't say with a bang, but today we're discussing Howling II. Your sister is a werewolf. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot spoilers, specific scenes, what have you. I think this came out in 1985. Okay, basic plot of this is it's the only, from what I've heard, it's the only one that's a direct sequel to the movie before it. So we are following the brother of Dee Wallace's character from the first film. The first film ended with her. She's a newscaster. She turns into a werewolf on live TV. She's killed. We're following him, and it's at her funeral where he meets Christopher Lee, who is a werewolf hunter. I believe he probably hunts other creatures of the night, but he's a werewolf hunter. Tells the brother, I think his name is Reb Brown, the actor. He was in Captain America. 90s Captain America. Do some research. Yeah, you'll be interested in that one. Tells him that she was a werewolf, and eventually they have to go, I guess, destroy the Omega werewolf, played by Sybil Danning, in Transylvania, and hilarity ensues. Okay, wow. Now we'll get this right off the bat. I was not a huge fan of The Howling. I've warmed up to it a little bit with recent viewings due to Battle World episodes on the Night Watch Zone, but I'm still not a fan. And that's sad because Joe Dante is my favorite director. It's his only film that I do not like. I've heard this one was batshit crazy, totally campy, totally different. Shout out to Derek from the Yesterday's podcast. He does say that, hey, it's got Christopher Lee in it. And then I told him, yeah, well, Christopher Lee was also in Mission to Moscow, the last Police Academy movie. Oof, this one was rough. Okay, it's definitely on the campy side, but let's get to it. The acting. Reb Brown as the lead, he's fine. He's nothing special. He seems like he's trying to be a charismatic lead, but he doesn't have a lick of charisma to him. The actress who plays, I guess, the other reporter, his love interest, she's just there. She's not great. She's there to kind of look nice, be kind of whiny. She just exists. Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee is Christopher Lee. If you've seen one performance of him, you've seen them all. Very stoic, very, he brings the focus onto him. He's very dignified. That's what he is here. He does a good job because it's Christopher Lee. I've grown to see more of his Hammer films lately. Even in Gremlins 2, he's always the standout actor. So he does a good job here. He does what he has to do. Sybil Danning. A lot of people praise and love Sybil Danning. I don't know why, but I only know her from this and Rob Zombie's Halloween. If you don't know who she is in that, she is the nurse that young Michael stabs with the fork. I don't know what to say about her in this, man. It's her way her character is written. She's there just to get naked, get hairy with a werewolf transformation, bark and snarl we can still see her, like she's not in costume, but bark and snarl at other people, at other werewolves, attempt to have a threesome. It's really weird. Um, and just say real weird lines to some god that she worships. I don't know. Other characters, there's her two followers. They're just there. No one cares. They're not important. They don't do anything. Yeah. So the acting, other than Christopher Lee, this is trash. The werewolf effects, they're hit and miss. Now, I've made fun of the original one because the final product looked like a deranged Easter bunny to me. Or when Dee Wallace turns into it, I guess they try to make her look cute. So I don't know if they made her look like a puppy dog. To me, she looked like a baby Wookiee. Here, again, it's hit and miss. Sometimes when they're in the shadows and when they're in full wolf form, they look pretty good for a low budget. But then there are other times, like we got to see the news footage. Um, they reshot the news footage for the ending of part one because they couldn't get Dee Wallace, and she looks horrible. She doesn't look like a fucking baby Wookiee, but she still looks bad. Um, a lot of the fangs look bad for a lot of times. The hair, some of the transformations themselves. Sure, it's a step down because of the budget, and we don't have. Was it Rob Bottin? I don't know. And a big name in the practical effects world back then. Here we do get some teeth coming out. We get to see like the hair coming out of the back, fingernails coming out of the fingers. It looks pretty decent, but a lot of the times it just looks bad. Like it's just a bunch of people walking around shirtless, covered in hair. Everyone talks about Sybil Danning getting naked. Sure, she looks great that one scene, but then the rest of the movie, when we see her naked, we see her just covered in fur. And, well, we can tell she's a natural blonde because she's covered in just blonde hair. The story is just so weird because it's supposed to be a werewolf movie, all right? And we find out from Christopher Lee that a lot of these werewolves are immune to silver, so it has to be titanium. There has to be titanium stakes. They go to Transylvania. It's a fucking vampire movie more than it is a werewolf movie. We're going to Transylvania. Sybil Danning and her minions, I guess you would say, are sacrificing people because the first time we see Sybil Danning's character, she's this old feeble woman. She walks up to this person, I guess you'd say, she's strapped down to a table. This old feeble woman walks up to this lady, strapped down to the table, looks like she's going to kiss her, and then she, through bad CGI flames, is sucking her life form, or her life force out of her, I guess. Then it turns into sexy Sybil. And so you have that, the vampire is always trying to stay young. Sybil she wears it looks like a Dracula cape. She's shooting lasers out of her fucking fingers. When she's stabbed by this titanium stake, I guess, in the finale by Christopher Lee, she's set on fire. I don't get it. I understand the campy route. Sometimes we change the lure, but why would you change them into vampires? Because Christopher Lee, maybe? That's fucking stupid. Christopher Lee, I remember when he did Gremlins 2, he actually apologized to Joe Dante while making that movie. He apologized to Joe Dante for making the Howling 2, even though Joe Dante had nothing to do with the Halloween 2, or the Howling 2. It's just so bizarre. The gore isn't too bad. We get some close-up shots of a man's face bleeding, blood coming out of the eye sockets, and then we get a man being attacked by a bat. Again with the vampire shit. He's attacked by a bat. He's bit in the face. I think it sticks its tail down his throat, and it causes, it starts ripping his face off, and then eventually it goes into his throat and pops out and, barks at the camera. The gore is decent, but the way the scenes are is just fucking stupid. I like the scene where I guess the head of the female minions, I guess. I hate to say it, she's the black girl. She's the only one. That's the only way you could describe her. I don't remember her fucking name because she's not that memorable. When she brings a couple of punkers into an abandoned area, attacks them, they're eaten. The blood there is pretty good. I'm glad those characters are taken out because they're pretty annoying. Wow. I also read that Sybil Danning didn't really want to do the nude scene. I mean, literally, there's a scene where two fucking werewolves are getting ready to fuck in a bed. She's in heat. She's a dog basically. She's in heat. She rips off her shirt, and we get to see her chest. Looks good. She didn't want to do the nude scene. The director promised her it'd be nice and quick. And then during the ending credits, where we get to see everything that happened in the movie, we get to see literally her ripping her shirt off 14 times. I don't know why, don't get me wrong. Again, it's nice to look at, but 14 times. I can appreciate the self-awareness, the campiness, but in the end, Howling II, Your Sister is a Werewolf, is I don't recommend. It's fucking stupid. I was kind of enjoying it in the very beginning because of the change of pace, the introduction of Christopher Lee, but then it just all went downhill. I mean, it is cool to see Christopher Lee shoot werewolves with guns. He goes into a punk bar and he's wearing punk sunglasses. He looks so uncomfortable. He's probably thinking to himself in his head, why the fuck am I even doing this? But he does what he can. If you're a Christopher Lee fan and you're one of those people that like, hey, you have a favorite actor and you want to see everything they've done, I guess you can watch The Howling 2. I'm never going to return to this movie ever again. Sybil Danning looks good when she's topless, but then does nothing. She looks awful and awkward when she's covered in werewolf hair, trying to bang two other people in a bed, and all they do is lay down and sniff and howl at each other and paw at each other. Reb Brown isn't anything special. The chick he's with isn't anything special. The making the werewolves into vampires idea, I guess, is God bless them, a new idea, but the execution was fucking stupid. If I got to hear that goddamn howling theme one more time, I was going to lose my mind. Yeah, didn't like it. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Tell me down below. This does have its fan following. There are people that enjoy this one even more than the original. God bless you. Comment below. Tell me why. Do you hate this movie? Tell me why. Day 3 is coming up. Howling 3. The marsupials. I guess they're fucking kangaroos now. I don't know. I turned it on to do my second review, or to watch it for my second day, and it started with some Aborigines having a werewolf tied to a tree, sacrificing. They were on the news. I didn't have time for that. I wasn't drunk enough. So thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Hope everyone enjoys my content, and pray for me. Cheers.